Hey everyone, let me know if you can hear me so I know that the mic is working. If anyone can hear me, I can see that there's some people in the chat. So let's hope we get some replies and you can hear me. I want to kick off this masterclass. And yes, you can hear me. Great. That's perfect. So I want to start by welcoming you all here today. I'm so excited to see that there's so many people watching and it's very exciting. And we're here for this series of masterclasses. So there's 3. This is the first one. And these are going to take you from your vision forward into getting you started and set up for getting into production. So with that, I want to again say thank you. And I've seen that some people have already in the chat put where they're from. Can you please all tell me where you're from as well? So more so Lithuania. Let me see what else. From Dutchess County, New York. Well, welcome, Karen. And I see Marianne is here. I know she's from Sweden, like me. Hi, Marianne. Anyone else? Keep it in the chat where you're from. I will be just telling you before we get started. Oh, here we have from Germany, Julian. Hi, Julian. Nice to have you here. I will be looking down a little bit. I do have some bullet points in front of me to keep me on track, so I don't miss anything. Oh, and Stephanie from Netherlands. Oh, and Astrid from Ireland. Great to have you here, everyone. I'm in Spain, so you might want to know where I'm based. I'm in Spain, Madrid. And Marianne cannot hear. Can everyone else hear? Marianne, have you checked volume on your computer? I can't see from my side. It seems to be working. Is there? I don't know if anyone else can look at that, because if I turn the sound on my other device here, it would probably make a lot of round noises. But there might be a button on the screen. Let me look. That you need to press to hear, Marianne. Okay, so Sadie says that she had to reconnect. So Marianne, maybe go out and reconnect, and maybe she can see that in the chat. Let's see. Okay, I will keep going, and hopefully Marianne can do that. Anyway, welcome everyone again. So super exciting. Before we dive in now, when we know where we're all from, I just want to tell you that I'm so excited. I don't know where to start. I'm inviting you in here into I'm gonna swap my camera over a little bit there to my studio here. So look, this is my vision board. So some of you might have been with me on the 5-day challenge that just finished on Friday. And that was from idea to design. Marianne can hear. Great. So this is my studio, my vision. Look, we've got some prints, we got some patterns, some buttons, some exciting mix here. So hopefully some of you have already envisioned and worked a bit on your idea and your brand. And I would like to start with asking you a question. So what is it that you want to create? What type of brand? If you have one, or if you want to create, what brand are you trying to create? Please put it in the chat so we all can see it. I'm monitoring the chat and that everything works in all the streams, so bear with me. But anyone who wants to tell us what they're trying to create? I saw that Astrid is here, and I saw that she wanted to do something for her holistic company. So maybe you can tell us, Astrid. So no one. Okay, well, I'm sure you're all here because you want to create something amazing, right? And please fill up the chat with what you're trying to create. Oh yeah, Rita. Hi, Rita. Rita's here, and she wants to create clothing for small dogs. That's super exciting. So as you can see, it's not only fashion garments, right? We can do any other products. We can do like Rita, fashion for dogs. There is textile product, and the process for textile products like, say, home interior or scarves and accessories, it will be the same. So whatever we're talking through today can be applicable for all of these different types of textile and fashion. And let's see, Stephanie trying to decide. Okay, if she wants to try designing at all. Okay, so Stephanie, I hope we will give you some motivation today. And Astrid is saying, yes, I am right about her holistic idea, but she's a complete beginner. Oh, and Sadie and Rita, you need to connect. Here we have two dog wear companies or startups. That's great. And that's so great. So Rita and Sadie, you connect. And with that, actually, I am so excited to hear all your ideas, and I'm sure we will learn a lot today together. But with these ideas that you're thinking about, think about where would you like to see yourself? Oh, women's clothing as well from Marianne. Anyway, think about where you want to see this brand of yours. Where do you want to see this in 6 months' time? And just try and imagine, like from where you're now, where would you like to be in 6 months' time? And I want you to keep this vision in mind during the time you're here. So we're going to refer back to our idea during this class. And I will keep an eye on the chat a bit more because it's so excited now when we're starting, before we dig into the actual teaching and lessons. So let's see. So here we have Anna. She started designing underwear for bigger ladies. That's very good, very needed, a good niche. And what I like with this idea, Anna, is that it's a niche, right? You're really thinking of who it's for. So super good. And Marianne wants to use natural fabric. That's also, like, thinking of fabrics, and that is also a great way of thinking about how you can narrow down your designs, your branding, and also like the core and concept of everything in your startup. So anyway, here we are in my vision. But it's really important to start with the visioning and start with your customer, like I have referred to a lot. So I am going to say that I believe that you can do it. And just by showing up here live, you are doing so much more than a lot of other people. So well done. And before we get started, looking at my bullet points telling me I need to tell you a few admin things. One of these, let me see, I can actually show you another screen. Let's see, here we go. Is I want you to invite you all to join the Facebook group, because in the Facebook group, like here we've heard today what you're doing and what you want to create. And we can now, if you join the Facebook group, we can cheer you on and we can help you, we can support each other and connect like Rita and Sadie. So I think it would be super great if you join the Facebook group. And in the Facebook group as well, if you want to, after today, and after the other 2 masterclasses, if you also want to join in there and tell us what you took away from today, that would be super amazing. And then also that might make you connect with other people, because they might have the same takeaways, or it might bring something up that's new to you. So that was one of the important administration tasks. So the next one is the bonus. And because you're here, I am so happy. If you stay to the end, you are going to get a really, really good bonus. And this has never been given away or seen by anyone else before. So it's only for you guys. You're the first one to ever get this. And this is a PDF guide. It's kind of built up as a 12-step strategy on how to get to the core of your brand vision. So it's defining, oh, hi, Lucia from Germany. It is designing your kind of customer and go deep into your customer. And it's also, Astrid says she badly need this bonus. So yes, it's great. It's like, so if you took part in the challenge, you might have started some of this work already, but this digs deeper into your customer, into the core of your designs and your visions and your ideas. And if you didn't take part in the challenge, then this is your chance. And it's a 10-step strategy. So you can either do it every day for 12 days, or you can do everything at the same time, or whenever you want to. Take your time. Yeah, that was the admin. Next step, which is also part of the admin. And this one, I keep forgetting. And Rita kindly reminded me of this one. So thank you, Rita. Who am I? And why am I here? Who am I to teach you today? And I am Annette. I am originally from Sweden, but I started my fashion career in London in the UK, where I lived for very, very many years. And I spent a lot of time in the fashion industry there. And I worked for, big high street brands. I worked for boutique brands. I had my own fashion label for 5 years. And I also consulted and freelanced, which led me into starting to work a lot with startups. And for the last 10 years, I've been specializing in startups because that's where my passion lies. I have also had some other bigger clients during the time, but startups and helping is why I started Fashion Design Tribe, because I started seeing what was missing and where people needed support. So now that's my biggest passion. More than designing, it's helping. So Julian said he missed the challenge, but he will catch up. Yes, you can still sign up if you would sign up today. But maybe send me a DM. The challenge did end yesterday, but the videos are still up. So if you hurry today, you could probably watch all the videos. I'll leave it up for another day for you. But otherwise, this bonus today, Julian, will cover everything. So I need to breathe and not be in such a hurry, right? We have done all the admin. And I have told you about me. And yes, now I live in Spain. And I have 3 beautiful, naughty children. No, they're not so naughty. They're very good. And they're a mix of everything, like us. We're 2 Swedish parents, 2 kids born in the UK, 1 in Spain. We speak 3 languages in a big mess. So that's me on a personal level. And I always joked that I moved to the UK for the weather because, okay, it rains a lot, but it was warmer than Sweden. And now I have truly moved for the weather. Not that you can tell this week, because it's been horrible and pouring with rain for I think it's 10 days and it's going to keep going. So I saw, for example, like Marianne in Sweden, you had great weather this week. So yeah, it's upside down. So anyway, let's go to the next thing. I want to introduce you to what happens now. Sunny in Ireland, says Astrid. Anyway, I want to introduce you now to what happens after we've got our beautiful vision, we've got our ideas, might have some photographs from what we want to create. But what is the next step? Does anyone want to put in the chat what do you think is the next step? Before we go on to actually learning this, put something in the chat. What do you think is the next step? And whilst you do that, I'm going to have a sip of water. So the next step is very exciting. It's when we really get to take the dream and make it a reality. So anyone in the chat wants to see if I can scroll down my chat? So let's see. Okay. No one so far knows what the next step is. That's a little bit worrying. Let's see. Oh, here comes Carolina from Argentina. Very welcome. That's cool. Karen Benson, yes. Write it down. Yeah, that's a very good start. Write it down. And how do we write this down? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about collection build-up. Oh, let's see. I find it very difficult to put my idea into the fashion language. Yeah, I see that. And I think that's not uncommon. When you start a fashion brand, like this part of knowing how to like go from, wow, this exciting time, like this is super exciting time, but obviously it's the hard part of getting to the next step and actually trusting yourself in doing it and not feeling overwhelmed. Marianne says sketch. Yes, sketching is great. So writing down, sketching. And we do this, we can like change our vision board into more of a mood board where we put our sketches together and where we write down what we want to do. If we're not creative, right, we can get help with this. So don't stress that, oh, but I can't draw. It's fine. It's fine. Most fashion brand owners at the startup level that come to me during these 10 years, they are not creative. They're not from the fashion background. So we can all create a fashion brand, okay? So what we're going to start with, once we have written this down, and we have started sketching, even if it's bad sketching, and do you know what? That's fine. Sketch so that you know what you want. You need to narrow down your collection, okay? And this stage where like we're going to get to now, so after we've narrowed it down, we've taken our vision, we have some sketches, we've written it down, I want this and this and this piece in my collection. So this next step that we're going to talk about today is actually taking the designs that we have like come up with from our creative ideas. Like this top, for example, I envisioned that shape. I really like it. And I want to have a print. Here's my very quick animal print. And you can see I like animal print, right? And I want to take that and maybe on this one, I think like these fabrics are quite nice. Yeah, I like the handle on those. So I've got that much gathered. And I mean, to take it to the next level, if you're not going to draw yourself, I think that is quite a good start. So get it together to that stage. And then we're going to take the next step. And this step, as I said, is the key. This is where you're going from dreaming into turning those dreams into a real plan. And this is where your real work starts. But don't worry, I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you, okay? But one thing to remember is once you walk towards this fashion brand of yours, you're also walking into being an entrepreneur. And one thing that they say about entrepreneurs, listen, it's entrepreneurs act despite fear. So by being here today, you're already moving ahead from your fear. Isn't that great? So if you can say yes to your idea, the production will come, okay? I promise you. So next thing we're gonna just quickly talk about is who today is for. So it's for anyone with a dream, right? Any one of you here looking at the chat, I know that all of you have an idea, a dream of starting a brand, and it can be fashion brand owners that already have a brand, can be someone dreaming, and it can be someone who wants textile products or fashion. So if you're here and this resonates with you, then you're in the right place and in the right group, and you're going to get to know amazing people here. And I can promise you today that you are going to take away like a lot of value, okay? You're going to get strategies and you're going to feel empowered and you're going to have permission to move your dream forward from your idea and your vision into a brand, a real brand. And the only thing I really would like from you guys is that you commit to doing this, taking something from what I teach you today, whether it's be just organizing your ideas or actually moving on something we're going to discuss very soon. But I really wish for you today to take something away and take action on that. Are you with me on this? Type yes if you're ready to take action. Oh, Julian, good. Small steps despite being worried. If I do the right thing, that's really, really resonates today. Yeah. Yes, yes, absolutely. Yay, we got lots of yeses today. That's good. That's really good. So I'm so glad. So I will start with telling you a little story to guide you in to this collection building, and it's a personal story. But are you ready? I'm not sure I am. Oh, Sadie is ready for the next step. Yes. Great, Sadie. I'm so excited for you. Anyway, let's get to my story. And I hope this story will actually help you avoid kind of mistakes that I did. So what is the story I want to tell you then? Well, when I started with this lovely vision board of mine, when I started my brand, I was super, super excited, right? I was creative and I felt daunted and nervous as well, though, even though I had been in the fashion industry, not for very long, but for a few years. So I still felt daunted and felt excited at the same time. And I just wanted to create this amazing brand, amazing products. I wanted to reach so many people, and I wanted them to be able to find everything they needed in my brand. But I did make a mistake, a huge one actually, which did end up costing me money. And just thinking about it makes me go, oh, and you know, I can feel like my hands going sweaty again. But by making this mistake, I learned a lesson, and I'm here to teach it. So nothing bad. That doesn't have anything good with it. Okay. So what was my mistake? You're probably wondering. I created an amazing range. Yeah, very good. But it was too big, too fast. I wanted to like help so many people and serve and just like be able to fill all the gaps. Like I wanted to have dresses and a jacket. And obviously, if you have a top, you need a trouser. You can't buy your trouser somewhere else. And that was my absolutely huge mistake. So from this lesson, I want to tell you that the crucial part when you are a startup is to not go overboard. Don't do what I did. Okay. Take one step at a time and narrow down your ideas. Yes, write them down. Gather images with fabrics. Do sketching if you can, even if they're bad, okay? But do think about how much you're doing and also who you're doing it for. It's not for you. You're going to do this for your customer. And that's where a lot of brands that come to me get confused, because you're so excited and you just want to do something that's like, it's going to be so amazing for me when I had this big, huge collection, and I will feel so great because I can sell so many things to so many people or meet so many needs. Wrong. Okay. Please just trust me on this and make sure you take your time and don't make my mistake and narrow down your collection. This is the first step before you go into actually putting all these ideas into what you need in your production. The why. Yes, very important here. The why. I like that, Karen. Yeah, the why is so important. And it's easy to hear and not pay attention. And it is, to be honest, like the brands I have seen go from idea to production are the people who listen to the why. I can tell you that some brands don't even get from that their idea to samples because they get overwhelmed. Yes, start with less things, Naomi. Start with a small range. I mean, my recommendation is always 3 to 4 items. Don't go overboard. Narrow it down and also make sure you meet the customer's need. Think about your customer. Don't just think about like your own creativeness or your own excitement. So that is the absolute first step you need to do. And then after this, we can go on to the next step. But you might be thinking, but like, okay, where do I start? Can I really commit to this? Like, oh, what's the next step? It's going to be really expensive, right? I don't know. And then I want to challenge that, okay? I want you to do this work we're doing today. So listen to what I have to say now about the documents, and then think that instead of thinking, I can't afford doing the right documents, like surely I can find a factory, right, and just send them my swatch, my photo, and my sketch here of the print. Surely they're the experts. I mean, they should be able to just put it together for me. So if I challenge this thinking, I don't think it's the right investment, because investing in the right thing at the right time will save you the money later on. And you are here, right? You're taking notes. I hope you're taking notes. No, just kidding. There is a replay up for a while. And if you want a VIP option, then you get the replays forever, or as long as Fashion Design Tribe exists. But I mean, it's going to exist. It's going to stay. So don't worry. But and you can also probably download them. So don't worry. Anyway, the VIP option is available. It's $27. And you can buy it on the landing page if you want to do that, and you get all 3 sessions plus the Q&A. Anyway, now I got distracted. I need to look at my schedule here so I don't miss anything. But yeah, what I wanted to say, by being here, you are ready, right? You are actually ready to take this and narrow it down and take the next step. With the help you get, you can do it. So trust me and keep working on this success of yours. And now when we have our ideas, we have this narrowed down. So I want this fabric, I want this shape, and the details. What do we need? We need design documents. Anyone seen design documents before? Anyone knows what a design tech pack is? If you do, you have any tips? If you have seen anything that you liked or didn't like with a design tech pack, put it in the chat. But what we've done so far is like the fun part. And I saw that Lucia was in here. She's a fellow designer of mine. And as a designer, obviously, this is also where we like it. It's like so fun. You get to really think creatively. Oh, Astrid, I haven't got a clue, and Julian doesn't really. So then you're in the right place. We're going to talk through that. But yeah, the fun part is the brainstorming and the mood board. But it's actually the next step. That is the roadmap. That's the important part that moves you further to getting samples and getting production made. And you are going to create design documents. And these are a blueprint, so to speak, of how you want to communicate with your factory and how they can see your vision. Good comparison would be if you wanted to build a house, you wouldn't just give your builder a photograph and say, hey, this is what I want. Make it for me, please. How would this builder know? Like, how many houses does she want? Oh, houses. How many rooms does she want inside? What layout do you want? Like, he could do absolutely anything. with that house, except for maybe the exterior, which you can see. And there's a lot more to any product, whether it is for dogs or a cushion or a garment that goes on inside or with details. So this blueprint is like the next step and the thing that we need to master, okay? And I want you to think about this. I'm thinking, but I want you to think like if you wanted to communicate with someone who doesn't know anything about what's in your head, how would you do it? So let's start there. And always through the whole process, and I can say I do this to this day, when I talk to different factories, I always think, if they don't know anything, how would they think? What would they need? What would they need from me? So keep thinking that through the whole process, okay? And the truth is that without a clear document, your vision can't come to life. And I mean, this is so exciting, right? We want our vision to come to life. And without this clear documentation, it can't come to life. And if you attempt, it's not going to end up like you think it is, and you're going to be disappointed. And in the documents, you need to be very specific. Like you need to specify fabric, colors, trims, measurements. And this is where the next step of what we're going to talk about today comes in. And oops, let me just move on a little bit like this. So what we're going to start with is to talk about the design tech pack. And like after you have your hand done sketches, right, you need to do the blueprint. And this is the blueprint for you. And different designers are going to tell you slightly different things of what can go in. It all comes from the same basics, so that's good. There are different ways of doing it. So I'm going to teach you my way, which is the way that I have strategized new documents during these 10 years of working with startups. Because if you work for a large company, you have a lot more power because your orders are a lot bigger. So your documents can, one, be a lot larger and a lot more pages, and people will pay attention. You are coming from a point of a startup, right? You're not going to place huge orders. You're not going to be a money maker yet, okay? So I suggest you keep your documents fairly easy to read, right? Think that the person on the other side needs time, or they don't have time, rather, to spend too much on your blueprint. So you need to incorporate it clear, communicate clear. So what usually is in, as you can see here on the photo, is you have a sketch page. And on this sketch page, feel free to have draping and other things going on. And show the color and print and whatever you need. I mean, it's a fun page. This page, it's useful, but it's less useful for a factory if you say you don't have much money to spend on these tech packs. This is one of the pages that is less important if you compare it to the next page, which is the technical drawing. And what is a technical drawing? So it's also a sketch, but it's not the same type of sketch. It's a sketch that shows you kind of the garment very flat, like how a pattern piece would be. In a sketch of a top, for example, you could probably see like the arm hang like this. So you can't really see what's going on right at the bottom of that sleeve. In a technical drawing, your sleeve would be more right out, so that, okay, maybe not that much right out, but like so that you can actually see what's going on down here. Like it has a cup. What material is the cup? And that page is where we need to pay a lot of attention, okay? And that needs to have all your details, all your trims that go in. So if this is the stuff you want, it needs to show that. You can show it with photographs too. I think photographs are very useful. I've got a separate page here on the screen with photos. Sometimes I put them in my technical page. So there's different ways of doing it. But make sure that whatever it is, it's very clear. They can't make a mistake. They know, okay, it's this zip, right? And this size. And then you also include label information. If you have prints, you can include the print. So your tech pack size will vary depending on the details that goes into your design tech pack. But for the technical page, it's very important to have fabric and materials as well. I'm going to touch on that in a second. And also any construction detail, like what seams are used, like on the inside of the garment even. Is that a straight stitch, an overlock? And if you don't know these stitches, I think you should go and like look at a sewing book, for example, or find resources. I do have some, but contact me if you are at this stage where you even need to know what the different stitches are called or the different fabric abbreviations and all of this. I mean, I have lots of these different resources available and in different options and offers of mine. So it's good to know so that you can master this and be in control. And also zip buttons, like I want this button, it's mother of pearl, it's this size, and so on. And then one thing that I mentioned was that you need to tell them about what fabric and materials you're using. So many big companies, and this is where my design tech pack might vary slightly from other people you come across, is that lots of big companies use bill of materials. I think it's less actually used than you will think, but some designers will tell you that you need this. I would say you need it, but not to the same extent as a big company. I would rather incorporate these details into my technical page. And also, as you can see on top of my tech pack here, I've got some lines of text. That's where I put it in, so that it's not an extra page or 2 or 3, depending on all your details, that just goes missing in the factory. So try and keep the pages down to as few as you can to keep this easy, concise, and also think about leaving some spaces here and there because it might have to be translated if you're going overseas, for example. So that is what you need to have ready for a factory when you have taken the vision into the few designs you're going to do. So this information can feel overwhelming, I understand that. So don't stress. There are lots of resources. I have a course on design tech packs. There's so many things around this where you can visually see it. So it's very possible for you to understand this. And you don't need to make it yourself if you don't have that creative or technical skill. You can hire someone to do it for you. But if you do hire someone, you should understand what it is you need and who you are as a brand. Like, you're a startup. You're not a big company yet. So all of those things, but bear that in mind. And now you know how it looks. Very overwhelming, says Astrid, but here to learn it. Good, Astrid, you're in the right place. So by being here, like Astrid said, you're taking away some of the overwhelm and you're learning. And this is a step towards the right direction and getting your designs right. I'm going to have a little sip of water again, sorry. But yeah, let's move on. And now we're going to talk about size spec. And this is the other document you will need for when you contact a manufacturer or a factory. You can go this way, and this is the way I work. And I would say most of the industry work like this. But obviously you do also have the more old school traditional way where you, and we could be useful when you start out as well, where you first contact a sample maker and a pattern cutter, and you get the sample and the pattern done before you approach a manufacturer. I don't often work this way, not with my startups either, because it does save you some time and money because creating patterns can be expensive, right? By creating this design specification, which is a list. But this is very important to realize. This is a list for the measurements of your pattern, not the measurements that go on a size chart that you see on a website. Okay, so specification, size chart, two different things. The measurements that go on the website, they're your body measurements. Okay, on the size specification, you are telling the factory the measurements that are on the pattern pieces and how you want them made. So if you would see here on my top, obviously my bust finishes further in. This is the pattern piece. It goes all the way out to here if I would do the bust measurement, okay? So it needs to be those measurements. And what also goes into size specification, which is very important, is that you can show them the different sizes and how you want the different sizes for your customer. Because as we heard about the plus size underwear, plus sizes have slightly different growth in areas compared to maybe the standard model. And this is because our shoulders wouldn't grow gradually the same even if we grow in other parts. So these kind of things go in to tell your factory how you want it so that you get good production. And again, you might think, okay, but they're the experts, right? If you can avoid it, I would say don't go to the factory and ask them to do that. Hire a pattern cutter, product developer, garment technician, someone who can help you with this, because they can understand who your customer is. We have different bodies in different parts of the world. And in Northern Europe, we're taller than in, say, Spain and Portugal. So depending on where your customer is based. Or you can do more average range, but that's also then important to know and consider. So these size specifications will help you save a lot of money down the line. And you might think, be sure. I will tell you an example. So I worked with, it was a large startup, but it was a large corporation who started a fashion brand with stores and all. And they had the first season, they had sent out just the design tech pack. The designer had put some measurements for one size in there, but not the grading for the different sizes. And they had a lot of returns the first season because things didn't fit correctly. Things came in very short in the body, very short trousers. So the sizes didn't really connect with the customer. So that's why this is important. And another example, actually, for all of these, both of these type of documents, but is someone who came to me who wanted to develop a shirt, and they had developed over 30 samples with the factory. The factory wasn't too pleased and didn't really want to work with them anymore. And they were very overwhelmed and stressed, obviously, because 30 samples and nothing to show for. But what they had done is to send photographs. Okay. It's too hard to translate like this. Invest now in these documents. It will save you the 30 samples, and every sample might cost money, right? And shipping the samples, right? So with that, on a scale from 1 to 10, how confident do you feel about creating these documents? Very interesting to see what you put in the chat. I'm going to wait for your chat a little bit, and I'm going to have another sip of water. I can. A 2, says Julian. Yeah, it feels overwhelming. Oh, Carolina, 4. I think a 4 is pretty good, right? Oh, Anna, 7. Yay, go 7. 5. Yeah. But yeah. So we're all feeling a little bit overwhelmed with this. A 2. Yeah. Astrid says a 2. Marianne says a 7. That's good, Marianne. I'm pleased for you. So yeah, you might be thinking that like, I'm not an expert. I can't do this. How can I get this right? And the answer is you can. Okay. You're here to learn. And that is how you move this on. Okay. You need to learn and you are capable. It's just taking it step by step. And what I want you to commit to now is, can you commit to, just like type yes if you can, but can you commit to taking the next step and try to get these documents right? Even if it is feeling a little bit overwhelming now, but you haven't finished the journey yet. Anyone wants to commit? Can you commit? Do you feel like it could be doable? Because think of this, if you do the work now, if you think back to your 6-month idea, or like where you are in 6 months from where you started when we started this session to now, with this knowledge, okay, we're still not mastering this, right? We have just started understanding it. But even just from this shift, if you keep going, where will you be in 6 months? Bear that in mind. Astrid says, I love to say yes, but can we get access to a sample of this tech pack? Yeah, I do have some tech pack templates available in a few of my courses. So definitely reach back out to me and I will tell you where you can find these tech packs if you want to go with mine, which are specially designed for startups. It's like a special strategy, proved and tested with lots of my clients. So now we need to trust the process, right? You are capable, like I said. This process that we've gone through, if we just open to learning, you will master it. I mean, people can do it, and I will tell you an example of this to make you feel that it is possible. Oh, I'm just going to check the chat quickly. Anna says, I definitely want to go into production after the summer. Oh, go, Anna. That's a good commitment. So if anyone else has any commitments or any yes to like, I'm committed to move on to this next step, which is to design documents, keep putting it in the chat. It so motivates us all, right? To see that there are other people feeling the same, but still moving ahead. Okay. And you're so much further than many startups if you commit to that. So I want to tell you about one of my students from one of my big courses. And her name is Maria. And she came to me, she was feeling stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, like all the things that you're feeling right now. But together we worked through her vision and we worked through the process. And okay, it didn't happen overnight, but she was committed to learning. And she did. Lo and behold, at the end, she felt so confident and she felt like she was mastering these documents. And she was leading her little business forward to success. And she was overjoyed is what I want to say. Overjoyed with this and this feeling of moving forward. And so it wasn't only like that she needed to do it herself. She didn't. She outsourced. But she knew exactly from taking one design at a time, she built more and more confidence. And at the end, she knew what she needed, what she wanted. She started talking to manufacturers and she could see what was working. So this is possible, okay? It's possible for you. And it's a matter of learning and understanding this process. And that's why we're here, right? But I also wanted to touch on one little thing, which is another mistake I see happening. I'm just going to glance quickly at the chat first. So we have some samples being made where there was communication problem. Yeah, it does. It is happening, and it's happening when you're not sure from the beginning where you're starting and what you need to add. So that's a great example, and it's possible to not have that happen, okay, and not feel like it's not exactly what you want, okay. So one of the big mistakes that I see with startups is that we come a little bit with a scarcity in mind. We're like, oof, like I don't want to pay that. I don't have any money. I'm a one-woman band or a man, and I don't have the time. And we rush, and we also, you will be very surprised, but most people that come to me in my consultancy business, where I help them from design to production, they say, oh, I would like this produced in 2 months. Obviously, after hearing this, that you need all these documents, obviously, and you can tell that it's not going to take 2 months, because you first need to do this fun process, which can take, I mean, when we're a startup, honestly, it can take a lot longer than it does when you have gotten into your brand and you know your brand. But yeah, most of them just like, well, this is my design ideas, this fabric, this top, make it happen. I should just be able to send this and it's fine. But that's not the case. So that's the biggest mistake, is that you're wasting money by doing this. You're wasting time and money. I mean, time too, because you'll end up getting something that's poor. Like your sample's going to look bad, and it's not going to be at all what you envisioned. So the truth is that it's so much more important to invest a little bit now, like learn how to do this well. And if you're not doing it yourself, outsource to someone who understands your vision and who can work with you through this process. But that process is much easier if you know what you want from them, okay? Otherwise, you might be wasting money again there. So that is actually one of the biggest mistakes I see. So one more question for you guys in the chat. I love this interaction with you guys. So exciting. Can you see the importance of this stable foundation? And also, maybe, actually, my question is, how ready do you feel at this moment to contact the manufacturer? Say 1 is no, not at all, and 10 is I feel ready. Julian says what in the chat, what I hear a lot, that he's feeling a bit lost, or very well lost. I can't speak anymore. Very lost. There's a lot more steps than I thought. Yeah, Julian, you're not alone, and please don't be scared off now. Okay, you can do it, and it's a lot more steps, but that's because we're not just creating a t-shirt. That's a standard thing. Like if you're creating something, a whole collection, and there's people involved, you're going to need this process. You're going to need time. But when you understand the steps, then it's not as hard. It's just because you're coming at it and you think, okay, it's just producing. But it's a whole process. And that's why lots of big companies have lots of different departments, from design to garment technicians to product developers. There is a lot to it, but it's absolutely possible to do, and do as a one-man band or a woman band, if you just learn what it is you need. Because if we don't know what we need, how can we know what to do? And here comes our numbers. Okay, yeah, we got 6s and a few 5s. Okay, Astrid is saying 2. Astrid will get you there. So yeah, implementing all of this then that we learned today, that's where the magic happens. And before we wrap up, I want you to think again about, if you decide today, hopefully today, to master these documents. Where will your brand be in 3 months? And also, if you learn to master these documents, you actually know what you want in your tech pack. You know what should go in there. And you know what the size specification is. And you know you can get the right help to do it. How would that make you feel? How would you feel in 3 months if you're there, if it's all done? Tell me your feelings, how you will feel. Thank you, Astrid. I'm glad you learned a lot. So I'm keeping an eye on you in the chat too. But yeah, tell me how it makes you feel, because I'm sure we're going to get some people saying it's going to feel really good in 3 months if I master this. Am I right? And while that, I need more water. Gosh, I haven't spoken this much for a long time, it feels like. Says the woman with 3 kids. Here we go. Marianne said she would feel happy. Oh, that's so nice. Of course you will, and you can do it. And fantastic. And Anna says, I can't wait to produce and sell. Yay! And that's the whole goal of this, right? Master the process, because if you master this process, you can produce. And when you have garments or products, you can sell them. And Julian will be very proud of himself. That's so good. Oh, that's it. You can do it, guys. Okay. So before, let me just check that I don't forget anything. But yeah, you're committed, and I can see you're committing here in even realizing what it will give you. So I think that's great. I mean, you're going to have to, yay! You're going to have to keep growing and investing, but you can absolutely do it. I see you doing it. You're doing it already. So with that, I want to close off today's masterclass. And I am going to, let me add this to stay. No, wrong one. Sorry, guys. I need to remove this. Let me see. Add to stage. There we go. I want you to talk you through, as we're closing today, we are again meeting on Wednesday. I hope you come live as you've done today, because if you do, that's going to be an amazing bonus for you. And this bonus and we're going to talk more about preparing for manufacturing. And one of those things, for example, is to talk about the overwhelm and common pitfalls when it comes to outsourcing. So if you're not going to draw these documents up yourself, don't miss Wednesday. It's at the same time. And you can either check through the landing page, or you can join through a live link, and I will send you a live link before the class. So that is Wednesday, and I really want to see you there. And I think it's been great to have you here and have this interaction. So I'm very excited. And then now we get to the goodie, right? Let me go to the goodie. The goodie is today's bonus. So to download today's bonus, this amazing PDF that will help you dig deeper into your core. Sorry, distracted by Julian saying I will be there. Great. Looking forward to seeing Julian. But yeah, so this link that you see on the screen, take time now. I mean, I'm going to leave you to have time. I'm not going to say anything that will distract you. Just write in the link you see on the screen in your browser, and you can download. Yeah, don't go yet. So Sadie, there might be more. See you Wednesday. But yeah, download this bonus. Type it in, everyone, now. Okay. And once we do that and we have the chat running, I would like to ask you just a quick last question here. Is how did this lesson inspire you? Was there anything in particular you took away from today? I'm looking forward to seeing in the chat what you took away from today. And I'm going to leave this link up, but like that. Can you see it? Yeah. So you can still download your 12-stage PDF. And then, yeah, tell me, tell me how this today's masterclass has inspired you. I'm really looking forward to seeing what takeaway you have. And if you have to leave, then put it in the Facebook group, because we are going to support each other in the Facebook group, right? So I'm gonna wait and see who anyone is coming to the chat. There's always a bit of lack, right? So what's the biggest takeaway from today? And also with that, which you can also put in the chat at the same time, I'm gonna feeling inspired, go further with my design, have a niche and clear view. Yes, go. You got it. You got it all right. So the last thing I just wanted to do, so before you go, so hence say why I said don't go yet. I want to open a quick, short Q&A. So if you have any questions, anything that was unclear today, or anything around today's subject that you just want to quickly ask, I will give us a few minutes to ask some questions. And Anna says, it can all get done, but needs hard work. Yes, but to be honest, like I said, with the entrepreneur who acts despite fear, it's hard work to start any business. I'm not going to lie. You need to be committed, but you can do it. Can you put the link in the chat? Of course I can. Let me write it down for you. Hold on. That's very clever, Marianne. Let me see. I hope I spelled this all correct. Let me just check my spelling, because yes, and here comes the link if you just want to click the link. It seems like you need to copy and paste it, and you can't click it, but anyway, I'm leaving it here for you guys to stay around. So anyone had any questions? It's been so exciting to have you here, and I'm so happy so many showed up and stayed the whole time. And look, good bonuses. So as you heard, on Wednesday you get like another cool bonus, and the bonus for Wednesday is this video Q&A where I answer some of the most common questions I get from startups. So I'm sure it will be very applicable. It probably things that you have asked yourself. So yeah, let's see. Any questions? Otherwise, we can start saying goodbye. But it's not goodbye. So this is just the start of your journey, right? We will continue together this week and a little bit into next week with the Q&A. So you're gonna, if you show up and you do this, right, you're gonna move so much further on with your brand and dig deeper. Oh, great. Sadie says the link is working. Cool. So, okay, I'll give you like 1 more minute to see if there's any questions coming in. If there are no questions, there's nothing that you're worried about or wondering about today. That's good though. Here we go. Carolina says, do you have any tips to narrow down your ideas when you are not sure what the correct decision is? Yes. If it's your design ideas you're referring to, Carolina. Yes, and you can join in later this week, and I'm happy that you're here. And you can watch the replay too, Anne. It's going to be up in a little bit. So Carolina asked if there's any tips on narrowing down your design. So if it's design ideas, which you can get overwhelmed, right? I would say really, really dig deep into who your customer is. Like when you're doing your customer persona from the beginning, when you start your brand, it's really important to understand, like, what do they need? So why do they need it? How do they live? Can I help them with something they don't even need? And like, just dig really, really, really deep into this person, and don't get distracted by what other people do, or Oh, here we go. Also, or what you like. It's really like thinking about what the customer needs and what they want. Like what would make them buy from you? And especially thinking, I'm a startup. And sorry, I'm going to concentrate. Right. So I'm a startup. So when you're a startup, obviously people might not find you, choose to go to you if it's something that they can get somewhere else. So you need to teach them why they should come to you. You need to fill the gap. You need to show them that you have something that is special to them and that they need. And to narrow down your target group, Carolina, this is where you really have to dig deep and look at the PDF today. And I also offer more information about this. So go look at my resources and come back and you'll hear more about it. But yeah, it's very much going very narrow, right? The more narrow you go, the more you will find the right person. If you go, oh, women 35, there's a heaps of women in there that are 35. Like what do they like? I mean, if it's someone who likes hiking and you're doing ball gowns, it's not the right person. So it's really, you need to dig all these layers away. And I think that was it. Astrid said she has lots of questions, so she will make a list for next time. Great. And on Wednesday, yes, now we're talking about the next process. So in the production, so when you have your design documents ready, what is the next step? And also how you can kind of, like, you have the understanding of it now. How can you move that on? Say you need to outsource it. How do you move that on? How do you get to that stage? And how do you find someone to outsource it to, for example? That's Wednesday. So with that, I'm going to just say thank you again. And the replay will be up in a little bit. And great that you were here live so you could enjoy the lovely bonus. And I hope to see you all on Wednesday. Bye. Signing off.